Yeah.
That is some nice hair. Someone was saying that you, and it wasn't Atham's traitorous backstabbing, betray the eldest sibling's brotherhood. Not his sister who said that you were better looking than me, but someone was saying, "Oh, they have Vlad's got some great hair," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, he does." But they're saying that you were blonder than me. I'm like, ain't Chad kind of more of a dishwater blonde, brunette almost type? And apparently not. People were.
Well, was she trying? Like, would you say that you are a silver fox with your hair? Are you getting gray up there?
Yeah, I am. I'm getting gray. I won't deny that. Yeah, I mean, my beard, if I grow it out too much, it's almost practically white. I'm not as gray as Vince LaRosa because nobody's as old as that fuck. But but yeah, it's going gray. Although it is coming back a little bit because the stress has been going away, and I've been relaxing, and I remember. 25 and dating this psycho Kuantaha from Hill, and I was starting to go gray. And then when I broke up with her, oh my God, the hair color came back. So I do believe stress has a correlation. But yeah, it's age now. I've been in good moods and the gray hair's coming back.
So are you really happy, Cappy? I don't think I've seen you.
Dude, 3 out of 5 days happy. So I mean, it's. And you know why? Do you know why I'm happy?
Because you have such wonderful friends as us.
No, because people finally fucking did what they said they're going to do. Like the remember the little deck I got out back to look at the pond, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You can't just dump a 5,000 pound. Well, the hot tub is only 800 pounds, but then you throw in 4,000 pounds of water and then maybe 250 pounds, maybe 350 pounds of people, because I only have thin friends, no fat people in the hot tub. That deck has to be able to hold it or it could collapse under the weight. And good luck finding anyone to come in there and give me the okay. And some people are like, no, that won't do it. And then I have one guy who specializes in decks. He's like, yep, that'll hold it. No problem. And then the real thing was, I called my insurance company. I said, if this collapses or breaks, am I covered? He's like, yeah, you're covered. Done. DUN, done. And so now the deck was rated good. The hot tub was delivered. You have to see, that was one of the bad days. The 3 of the 5 days were good. The bad day was when these fuckwits over at the spa place, they deliver it and they say, yeah, it's hookup. We'll hook it up for you. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, why isn't it hooked up? Oh, you got to get your electrician out here. I'm like, when the fuck were you going to tell me that? And they're like, oh, well, yeah, that's normally how it goes. And then my electrician says, do you have a disconnect? I'm like, what's a disconnect? Because you see, because it's so fucking common. Everybody has hot tubs, right, Chad? Me and my pampered upbringing, I had hot tubs all the time. I'm like, what's a disconnect? He says, well, in case water, blah, 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 prevents you from getting electrocuted. It's like, didn't they tell you? I'm like, no, they didn't tell me. It's like, yeah, you got to get a disconnect. So I got on a horn with the guys over at the hot tub place. I say, you guys got any disconnects? And the guy starts laughing. He was like, oh, yeah, those are kind of hard to come by. Yeah. Did you get them? And I said, listen, I was cursing. I said, this isn't a fucking funny matter. You sold me a fucking hot tub. I'm sick and tired of you fucking South Dakota yokels fucking shit up. And like, forgetting to mention this, forgetting to mention, you sold me a fucking hot tub. It should fucking work. Now give me a fuck. And he's like, okay, all right, just calm down. So I got a free disconnect. And he went into the warehouse. I guess there's a shortage of that because Gen Zers and millennials don't want to work on disconnects. But I got one. And then my electrician came in, hooked it up. And then I didn't know this, but did you know that hot tubs take a while to heat up?
No, really?
Well, I knew they took a while, but I thought it was like maybe whatever. It just takes a while to heat up. And so it takes like, in some cases, days or, like 24 hours. So this one takes like 6 to 7 hours. So I'm like, all right, I'll let it heat up. I didn't want it to get too hot. Woke up this morning and then it was perfect. It was like 95 degrees. Sat in the hot tub, had the Christian. So now I'm in a good mood. Because it works.
Awesome.
Because people did what they said they were going to do.
Is the weather, is it cool enough where you can get in that comfortably?
No, you got to, not really. I did it in the morning just to give it a shot. And then you got to wait for the sun to set because it is like, we're back up in the mid 90s again. Yesterday and the day before was 80s, which was fine. Went motorcycle riding. But it's kind of like, have you ever spent time in the desert?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So it's like you get all your stuff done before 10 a.m. and then basically do all your indoor work from 10 a.m. to about 4 or 5, and then maybe you go out again. It's been like that pretty much the entire fucking time I've been here, and it is pissing me off. But Friday, all this hot weather goes away, and we'll go back to like, we'll see 70s again, so I can go hiking and be outdoors and not worry about heat stroke or sunstroke or anything like that. But it's been good because it forces me to be inside and work on stuff inside.
Mm-hmm. So
another reason why I'm in a great mood, I'm happy, Cappy. The house is almost done. There are only 2 things left to do on the house. Only 2. I spent the entire day today and yesterday, not the entire day yesterday, only half the day, putting on handles.
I thought that would be one of the things left.
That's all done. We're still waiting for some longer handles to be delivered because once again, millennials and Zoomers don't like to work, so they don't have the long handles in stock. So we have to wait for those to be delivered. But all the other handles are on. We're not just using the tape to pull them out. But the only thing remaining is having the fireplace finish, which in theory is next week. And then the French drain that I dug the trench. Mm-hmm. And now I got to lay down the fabric and the rock. I just had the rock delivered this morning. I bought a wheelbarrow. These are exciting times. I bought a wheelbarrow and I got to go get a ladder, a tall ladder. And then all I got to do is fill in the trench, put in the piping, put it back over, fill it back in. And that's it. It's done. Then it goes on to like putting up artwork and really, truly petty and minor things. But, usually it takes about a year, 18 months to get situated in a house. I did this motherfucking shit in under 3 months. And that was doing work contractor should have done. So and now it's like, now it's done. Now it's like, you can see my recording studio. It's all set up. It's all, soundproof. I got my casting couch in the back. I don't know if anyone can see that.
Yeah, it's a good room you're in.
Yeah, no, it is. Room. Yeah. Don't sit on that couch if you ever come visit, by the way, in case you were wondering. But yeah, so that's it. So I'm happy, Cappy. For now. Until someone pisses me off. Yeah.
Well, that's bittersweet for me because I like it when you're happy. We don't see that too often.
Right. Why is it bittersweet? Why can't you be happy for me?
Well, sometimes the streams are a little bit more entertaining when we get ranty, Cappy. Something to...
There were plenty of asshole consulting requests over the past several days where they weren't necessarily stupid questions, but there were questions that angered me because it was about bad parenting and children suffering. I went on a tirade on that, but no, just let me be happy. Just let me enjoy. Dude, one of the tricks to being happy?
Removing all expectations that anything will go right.
That's true. That's very John Somnes of you. That's very true. Because I had all this work, I'm like, look, I can't make it to the gym. I don't have air conditioning in my truck. It's hotter than shit. I go out, I drive. All the Sturgis traffic pisses me off. We go slow. And now I'm like, all right, that's it. Oh, and then there's no wait staff service, so it's pointless going to a restaurant. I've just been eating ice cream and junk food. That's it. Yep. So no booze. I'm just getting ice cream, root beer floats, A&W, Sonic, and the forgiveness, the no guilt, just getting work done. You don't have to worry about the gym. You don't have to worry about your diet. It's amazing how liberating that is, where you could just relax and enjoy for like 2 weeks. So it's nice. I can actually take kind of a real vacation mentally and physically, although a lot of physical work to do here, but that's all coming to an end. So.
Well, Tornado Kid's in the chat, so shout out to him.
Is he? A happy 21st birthday. Where is he?
I saw him posting up there at the beginning. Maybe he's not there anymore. Yeah, Chris is black. Yeah.
Chris is black. Yeah. So I talked to him and said, what'd you do for your 21st? Oh, just chilled out and hung out with some of my friends. And I'm like, sounds very Oregonian. Sounds very chill. And
in a few days, he and I will be virtually in the same place.
Virtually in the same place?
Yeah, he doesn't live that far. Well, I don't want to.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Not virtually, like basically in the same place. Yeah.
Right. But you guys are going to go visit, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'd like to.
No,
Mrs. Elkins will love him.
Oh, God. Oh, no, don't. Oh, are you going to introduce him to her?
Yeah, why not? Everybody deserves
She's
to.
She's never going to let him go. He's not going to see his real parents ever again. Mrs. Elkins will just pamper the boy. You know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I'll prepare him for it.
No. Anyway, I'll just get some stuff out of the way. No super chats. This is the last Older Brother podcast on the YouTube platform. I will be stream living on YouTube. This will be the last time we do this. I will probably inevitably upload future recordings of the Older Brother podcast here, but as I mentioned on my main channel, this has just been a royal pain in the ass switching over the LLC to Google. And so I think it's the perfect opportunity to try alternative platforms. I am not back at a regular schedule. That will not happen until September. I got to experiment with a bunch of other things. The ideal is going to be doing multiple alternative platforms, all under one OBS kind of overlay. What do they call that? What's StreamYard called, or OBS?
No clue.
Some kind of, it runs all of them. You could simulcast using this software, using that program. So, and then we'll finally figure out what the new normal is. But I do want to get back September. I definitely want to do an Older Brother podcast, a Clary podcast, and Good Morning Corona Chan. And things should be squared away by that time to do that.
Well, I'm honored to be a part of the very last one, but I'm also, is this all because they were giving you that trouble with the EIN and all that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's too much. I don't have, I go to the Secretary of State. I download the Articles of Incorporation. I get everything. I send it to them. No, still not good. Has to be exactly. Yeah. I'm just like, okay, forget, because I don't make that much on the Older Brother podcast simply because I don't podcast that much on it. And it's just, I think YouTube has like $200 in escrow, should it ever have. Which is why I don't want people giving super chats. It's just going to sit in Google's account. And it was just too much of pain. And I'm like, no, forget. And I looked at it like sometimes what seems to be a hurdle or a drawback is actually a blessing or an opportunity. And I think this is the perfect vehicle to go ahead and switch over to an alternative platform. And just
I'm just surprised they're that incompetent about this. I mean, this is like creeping over into my professional territory.
Yeah, you could take a crack at it if you want. I'll give you my login and all that. But I'm not kidding. I think it's because there's commas in the LLC title, and Google, if like, it wouldn't allow for an ampersand, and like it has to be literally to the character exactly. And I entered what I sent the W-9 in, the one that you filled out for. This is how you do it. I'm like, okay, I'll send that in. Nope, that didn't work. Okay, let's get rid of the ampersand. Nope, that doesn't work. And it's like, all right. And after a while, like, this takes 10-15 minutes each time to do it. Take pictures. I'm like, no, you don't need my money. You don't want it. YouTube is not profitable. There are many reasons for that. And this is one of the minor ones, but it's just a pain. I mean, have you ever tried to set up? I remember this happened before. My main channel actually isn't even under my Social Security number or LLC. It's under another person's because I had another channel originally and they wouldn't let me switch it over. Like, it is impossible to say, look, I got multiple channels. Can you consolidate this under one EIN or Social Security number? Nope. And can you get a hold of anyone at Google, Chad?
No.
Nope.
No.
That's
really lame.
Well, that's fine. I'm happy. That means more time for me to go out and have fun.
Well, that's true. This is like, I have to deal with things like this with state governments who are usually way more incompetent, you would think, than Google. So the fact that Google's doing this,
Google is a bureaucracy. It is slowly becoming a bureaucracy. You remember, like, probably in the 90s, or certainly in business school, like the life cycle of a business. It starts off with the founders or the visionaries, like a Bill Gates or a Steve Jobs. Everything's growing, But then as the MBAs, those assholes with MBAs, those fuckers, those wipes.
I hate all of them.
Yeah. People from the Carlson School of Management get in there and they're going to get bigger and bigger. Well, then as it gets bigger and bigger, there's room for more inefficiencies or outright embezzling or corruption or graft. And then also not as efficient. And then all of a sudden you are like IBM and you miss out on the Microsoft opportunity. You're just a big monolith And just like all big organizations, your inefficiencies creep in. You're not, and then you lose out on money. But I don't think YouTube's ever been profitable, has it?
I mean, when Google acquired it, I think it was. I don't know what the situation is now. It's a big cash cow, I think.
No, I'm pretty sure it's not, because when you go, I pulled Alphabet Inc. or whatever, their 10K.
Yeah,
I try to, you try and find the subsidiary. Okay, well, what's YouTube's P&L? They don't show it, and YouTube was never profitable before Google acquired it, and it wasn't immediately after. And I'm still, the speculation is that until they publish it, YouTube is losing money. Because I don't know, Google's ashamed. I have no idea. It's like, well, maybe if you stop paying censors $90 grand a year to live in Silicon Valley, and you just let people publish, I don't want to tell Google how to run its company, but no,
they're censoring so much right now. I mean,
we age restricted your video. I've gotten like 7 or 8 of those now. Which don't cause flags. They just think of the waste, like either it's computer waste or project waste. Like, they had to come up with this. Hey, I got an idea. Yeah, what is it, Jim? The literally billions, if not hundreds of billions of videos that have been made in the past. Yeah, let's program an algorithm to go back and look for language, and then if it puts up a yellow flag, we'll pay actual people to watch these videos to see if they're appropriate for age. And I'm like, don't you have something better to do? So I'm getting notifications of videos 5+ years ago. We decided to age restrict this video. It's like, you're this bitch that you've been dating and things are going well, and then you slightly screw up. She says, remember that time in 1987 when you didn't open the door for me? You're like, I don't know how you can function. You cannot be profitable like this.
Are they doing this on any of your previous streams, or is it just videos like Asshole Consulting?
I think only videos so far. I don't know if it's going to be the streams, but I mean, it's just so sad, because YouTube is functionally, especially with StreamYard, it works. They got the bells and whistles and all that. It's this obsession they got about going through and editing content where it's like, why? What do you care? Like, what? Do you like money, or are you I mean, it makes me wonder, because you and I got steeped in this back in the 90s and the aughts. Do you remember when we went to business school, and it wasn't just that you were a good accountant or a good financier or a good HR lady? Like, you had to do corporate social responsibility.
Yeah.
And you had to do all this other ancillary shit that had nothing to do with your, I'm not talking taking classes that had nothing to do with it.
Business ethics.
Yeah, it's like, look, fuck off. I'm a great accountant. I'm a great IT guy. I'm a great HR lady. That's all you have to do. And I'm wondering if now that generation of 30-something, 40-somethings are starting to get into the managerial classes. And they got to carry this religion with them, because they sure as fuck don't have Christianity or Islam or Judaism anymore. I mean, all they got is, well, you go to work. Well, that's not meaning. And now they got to, I mean, the woke bullshit is a perfect example. But I'm wondering if, because this makes absolutely no sense in the long run, it's not going to be, you'll go bankrupt inevitably.
I can only think it has something to do with everything that's been going on, in the past couple of years. They're like paranoid about fake information regarding COVID, probably politics. You don't think?
No, I agree 100%. But again, the question I asked the Google executives, what businesses of yours that people don't believe in the disease or don't want to take the remedy or what's his name? I'm not a fan of his. I think he's kind of a buffoon. Alex Jones, he's a conspiracy theorist. So what? Are you going to take Mr. Ballin off the internet? What?
He better not. I would get I would revolt if they take Mr. Ballin off, and so would happen.
But this is where we're going. We're going to go to a rated G only platform where it's just, and it's going to suck. It's going to be boring, and ain't no one going to go there. I've been going and checking out Joker over at locals.com. Mm-hmm. I mean, he still does YouTube, and we're all going to keep doing YouTube until we get kicked off, in part because we're lazy. but the day is coming either because we get kicked off or it's just going to be so nagging, so taxing and tiring. Like, oh, well, you can file an appeal. I'm not going to file a fucking appeal. I'll just take the original video and upload it somewhere else. I got more important shit to do. Like, I don't know. There's an ulterior motive here beyond profit. And I'm not saying companies shouldn't behave ethically or anything like that, but it's irrational. It doesn't make any sense. No one in the world has held YouTube or any platform responsible for whether a Nazi or a terrorist gets on there and spews their bullshit or whatever. But it's very clear because they've committed probably multiple billions of dollars by this time to it. Tons of resources. It's really important to them. Whatever's driving them it's really important. It's more important than profit. It's more important than the long-term survival. So I have no idea, but you think it's that simple?
I really do. I think these tech companies, these Silicon Valley giants are all, politically aligned, if you catch my drift.
Right, yeah.
And I think they've got donors behind the scenes. They've got handlers, way up that are pretty much like pushing this down on them.
Okay, so Google would just be an agent of the government or the Democrat Party or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but I think that's part of this.
It would explain it. I don't know if I subscribe to it, but it's like waking up every day and the first thing you do is you got your wife or your girl asking you when you're going to take out the garbage. Or it's not because the garbage is to be expected. It would be. What would it be like? It would be, 3 weeks ago when you didn't get the oil change right away. I'm looking back at that now, and that was not acceptable. It's like, what? And it's petty. It's not like, remember 3 weeks ago when you banged my sister? Yeah, it was a great time. Yeah, I mean, it's not obvious. It's like this video from 7 years ago. We decided to age restrict it. I'm like, how fucking bored are you guys? What?
Yeah, the only equivalent I can think of in my world is, hey, Chad, I have a question about my 2018 tax return.
Yes.
I mean, you can ask it, but I might not answer it,
I'm always trying to paint on the positive side of things because I'm going to die and I don't want to be pissed off for the rest of my life. If you're all pissed off at Google censoring or any big tech censoring, just ask yourself this question. How fun would it be to be a censor working for one of these companies?
You're looking for reasons to get offended, so it kind of aligns what their everyday life is like. I
guess, but don't you think they'd be the most depressed, pissed off, angry people in the world?
Oh, absolutely, pissed off and angry. No doubt about that.
What do you do? Oh, I'm a censor at big tech. So what does that entail? I comb through posts, reading zillions and hundreds of zillions of posts, none of which are really that good or clever. And I look for the ones that are bad. And then I file a report.
I read a piece about this. Like they wanted a day in the life of the YouTube censors or whatever you call it.
Okay. All right.
And so you probably didn't see this. I'd like to see how close you can get to guessing the physical makeup of the people who are doing this.
Okay, now first, that's not hard. Okay, we're talking IT, right? The average Google programmer is not some ripped jack dude. Okay, they're all overweight and all that. Now, if you're a content editor or a censor, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to assume you got your pocket protector there. Maybe not your pocket protector. Maybe you're more politically aligned. I'm going to guess
Just saying, think both genders on this one.
No, I know. I mean, you're a 4. You're between a 2 and a 4. Okay. You're overweight.
Yes.
And if not morbidly so.
Very much.
I would say the girls have for fashion. Yeah. Thick rim glasses. Just let me guess it. You said get close. Now you're giving me all right. And I was going to guess Rachel Maddow glasses. I'm going to guarantee you purple, blue hair, pierced things, tattoos, not all of them, but some. The guys, maybe their agency beyond being a Nazi and censoring things would be they have a hair bun or they put their pronouns, maybe. I don't know, some kind of virtue signaling, but not all of them. I just imagine they're under 30.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. Okay,
Yeah.
I pictured that's what came to mind. They're dressed kind of slovenly.
Yeah.
Are they working from home? I guess they got to be working from home.
Yes, they're all working from home.
I don't imagine them being a catch physically at all.
They fit every physical stereotype of a fat liberal feminist, and this goes for both the men and women that were doing this.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is who rules over you YouTube content producers. And I feel bad for y'all. I think it is going to end up, you got to go on some of these alternative programs.
And the irony, do you think any of these censors believe in Christianity?
Oh, please. Their religion is Marxism.
Well, right. But my point is they do not realize that they're the exact same thing. Like back in the religious right days in the 80s and 90s, they wanted to ban, heavy metal rock or Two Live Crew. Remember Two Live Crew?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's tame by now.
That was great when I was in 6th grade or 5th grade, whenever it was.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, now, and they're the modern day religion and remove politics. They're just not fun or happy people. They're not shiny, happy people.
If you saw this piece, you wouldn't get angry at them. You'd kind of feel sad because they think they think what they're doing is so important, and it's contributing to good in the world.
Yeah, but at the expense of the shareholders and ultimately the viability of Google as a whole. I don't think they're gonna. I'm sure they're making up money in other places. They post billions of dollars per quarter in profit. I'm sure their cash flow is just fine. Maybe it's their nonprofit arm. Maybe it's like, this is how we're doing good. We're going to use YouTube as a tool and we're going to censor people. It seems like, okay, here's what it is. Forget the waste of resources. This seems like a tragic waste of everybody's time and a lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
Because when you are on your deathbed and they say, well, what did you do? Well, I was a censor.
Ugh.
Like, that's gotta suck, man. Like, I didn't create anything good. I didn't produce anything new. I didn't produce a thing. I didn't have a family. I prevented other people from saying things. And fine, there's probably some horrifically wicked shit being said and in polite company or social etiquette and morals and principle, you shouldn't say them. But I mean, the complete disregard for the freedom of speech, which I understand private companies don't have to do, but your job was to squelch free speech. That was your job. And to sift through all the shit to find the really bad turds to say, we can't say, like, that has just got to do a number on your brain.
I think they see it as like it's their mission to sort of protect the narrative and, get rid of fake news and, all these extremists, these dissidents, they're protecting the world from, those guys. I really think they see it as noble. I really do.
Yeah, but noble would be, charging a trench, that's noble.
Yeah.
Or sacrificing yourself or swimming in a rushing river to go save somebody's kid. That's noble. This is so Stasi, not in a spy sense, but it's the paper pushing and glorious, even forensic accountants, at least you guys find tax dodgers, criminal, what's the word I'm looking for? Fraud, embezzlement, tax evasion. What's the one I'm really looking for?
Tax avoidance?
No, that's legal. Tax avoidance
is very legal.
Tax evasion is illegal.
That is very legal,
right.
Yeah.
Not to bore people with vocabulary, but there's good to cut. You're stopping crime, you're stopping thieves, you're stopping drug runners, you're stopping terrorists. I get that. What are you stopping if you prevent some KKK nut from saying herky durky durky dirt, white man, whatever? I mean,
I'm going to pretend like I'm them, and I'll answer. Well, we don't want this information getting out because it could attract, more and more people, and then you'd have another Charlottesville. You remember Charlottesville?
Charlottesville, right? Yeah. Right. Okay. All right. But is Google on the hook? Is Google legally liable for that, or is this just part of corporate social responsibility, just being a good corporate citizen?
It's that, but it's more than that. They're handlers. The all that. Yeah. Sorry.
No. I don't know. I'm the professional. You're not.
Sorry. Anyway, I think they're getting orders to do this. You see, and it's not. But I think it's from the so-called elite. And I know that's conspiracy theorists there, but I think they're.
And let's say it's true. I'm being serious about this. My heart goes out to you, censors, man. I'm sorry.
But they hate you.
I know they hate me, but I'm talking. Okay, maybe it's not. I feel bad for them, but I feel sorry for them. Does that make sense? Like you don't have to. Like you can hate people, but feel sorry for them, or be not hate's too strong a word, but you could not like someone or be politically disaligned.
You can,
but still feel empathize, or whatever. I, for example, do I feel great about Gen X women and millennial women who are now approaching 40? Do I feel happy for them? Am I like, yay, you go? I'm really happy that you're miserable and lonely and divorced. And do you think I'm happy about that?
What's that word? I don't think you have. Is it Schadenfreude? Where you're
vindictive. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have that. I don't think you gloat over it.
I do gloat, and it's because of the nature of "I told you so," which is better than an orgasm. That's one of the best feelings in the world. Is I told you so. But after I do my victory dance of being right and joy, then you sit and you think about it, and it's like, wow, that's horrible, because they wasted their lives. And in the case of women, they have wasted the number one thing, the number one asset, and that's their beauty and youth. And that's gone. And I know women don't believe in beauty and youth, and how dare you? And okay, that's fine. But you're like, it's tragic. That's the word I'm looking for.
Tragic.
It is a tragedy that your life was spent getting an opportunity way up front to capitalize, fall in love, invest in your fellow human being, maybe have a family, whatever else, and you squander it because of an ideology like feminism. And it's also tragic that you were brought into this world. Your parents didn't abort you. You're here now. And what you decide to do with your life is not. All right. You know why? Another reason I'm happy. Would you like to hear a third or fourth reason I'm happy?
I mean, these occasions are so rare. Like, I want to hear all of them.
It's very small, very minor. I'm really good at putting on handles, I find out.
Are you?
Yes, because I got a system and I did the math and I got a level and I did the calculation. I'm like, well, I got a piece of it. I got like a little template and it's like, okay, are you going to go true level as the gravity of Earth, or level relative? Because the cupboards are technically not true level. So do you want to go level with the cupboards or level with gravity? And if you put on one handle, the other ones have got to follow suit. So I did a great job. I'll send you pictures. I know it's stupid, but I'll send you pictures. You'll be like, that looks really geometric. It's really sharp. And I'm like, pat on the back.
So you got all of them in there, the kitchen, the bathroom?
I got them all in except for the big drawers where like your heavier, like your pots and your dishes and all that go. So there's one, it's an 18-inch long handle. And there's 4 of those left. And then I got a 224 millimeter and then 160 millimeters that are being delivered, but those weren't available at the Menards. But they're for larger cupboards and drawers and all that. Anyway, point is, I was like in a good mood, even though I shouldn't have to have done this. This should have been the trim guy's job. But I developed a skill. I got a technique and it looks good. And like I had a little bit of pride. That's even more rewarding than being a censor. I can't think they say, oh, I censored 3,800 people today. Like there's a product at the end. There's some production. And I just kind of like, wow, even being a fast food person. All right, you put together a Big Mac real good, or you mop the floors real well. At least there's some production. At least there's something to look at. Did you really produce anything of value? And maybe on the frontal cortex, they think, yeah, I stopped Nazism or evil white men or whatever.
And that's my point, is that they can sleep at night because of that. Like that's.
But see, that's up here. Deep down inside, do you think they actually go to bed at night proud of themselves?
I think I got to disagree, man. Like
really?
The ones like, you remember Cuddlewooks? like her whole
Yeah, but
personality.
I
Go
will
ahead.
use her to counter your point. Please make your point about cuddle wookums. I
All
will
right.
counter.
Well, people in that similar mindset, I swear, I even have clients like this, like they've made it their mission to adopt this thing where they're trying to like protect any offensive language or, you know, any non-acceptable political opinions.
Mhm.
There are so many people just in my world here in Chicago that this is their religion, and when they perform consistently with that religion, they feel very smug and very happy with themselves.
Okay, all right. But deep down inside, do they? Because when Cuddle Wookums, what I can't remember what it was when she says, I know you're wrong and you're an idiot, so here's my olive branch. And then I just,
Yeah,
then I took the gun off as safety and went, tack, 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 tack. I made her cry. And the reason I made her cry is I told her the truth. And the reason she cried is because deep down inside, she knows it's true. Because once you dumped her ass, she ran off and married her ex-boyfriend. And it's kind of like fat chicks. There's not one fat chick alive today in the United States that actually believes big is beautiful. Not a one. They'll say it. They'll snap and look out, and here comes the hand. And that's even the white and the Asian gals too. All right. They all got the lip in their attitude. Deep down inside, they know. They know it's BS. And so I would argue, just as Cuddle Wookums, I mean, yeah, she was proud because whatever she did, I don't know, organically recycled used coffee beans, whatever it is that she did. but by evidence of me just telling her truths and her crying, they know. And so I have to imagine that the censors, like, for example, when I'm paid to do a really stupid request, right? None are coming to mind, but the request is pointless. It's dumb. There is not going to be of no value or benefit to anyone, including the client. And they pay me $100 to do a ridiculous thing. All right. Do I think, yeah, this is good, I'm changing the world? No, I get my $100 up and that's it. And I don't feel bad or dirty. I just don't care. It's just like, maybe a little bit of tragedy because of the time wasted both on my part and the client's part. But that is admitting up front it's a worthless, pointless job. You're just doing it for the money, right? Pizza delivery people, are they changing the world? Not really, but they know that. They're not thinking they're changing the world. These people, they can't be that dumb. They can't be that obtuse and naive or self-delusional.
I still maintain that they really feel like they're a force of good in this world now. I mean, I know you disagree, man, but I have to interact with these type of people so much.
Well, I'd have to defer to your authority because you've interacted with them. Wait, where do you actually work with censors?
Well, I mean, I without saying too much, I have a particular niche in terms of my client base, and unfortunately, they tend to be in the exact opposite political direction that you and I are. Mm-hmm. And I just hear a lot of stories about this from them, like the steps that they're taking to shield. I mean, I'll say some of them are teachers. That's obvious. They're trying to steer them in a direction where I don't think they should be steered.
Right.
And but the others, I mean, they're flat out taking advantage of their profession to push these ideologies onto their willing paying customers.
And I don't doubt it. I believe it 100%. I just wonder if deep down inside there isn't like a touch of guilt or remorse or shame. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm too optimistic.
Can't see it. I think you're too optimistic, man. Like they not 10 years. Well, even 5 years ago, I'd be with you on this because pre-Trump and all that stuff, the world hadn't really gone insane yet, at least not here. But yeah, in the last few years here in the world, they've just been throwing.
They do seem worlds apart now, don't they?
They do. They're throwing the kitchen sink at all of this, and they don't care. Just watch CNN. I mean,
I don't watch. That's why I'm in a happy mood. I got a new meme out. The GF took a picture of me golfing for the first time in Rapid City.
Yeah,
I'm doing a chip on it's a pretty nice because you can see
saw.
Yeah, and so I'm doing that one where I'm waiting for stupid shit to come out in the news and say, "Hey, Aaron, did you hear about X, Y, and Z?" It says, "I don't watch the news," or "Fuck the news," or something like that. But the problem is I don't watch the news to know what the big bullshit headlines are, so I really don't use that meme that much. So I guess the big thing was the gymnast dropped out because she had performance anxiety or something.
Yeah, but she came back.
Did she come back?
Like the very last day of the Olympics, she competed in some event and won a bronze medal. So,
That's not
I
bad.
mean, yeah, she did come back. I don't know if there was political notions tied to that, but yeah.
Okay. Well, did I miss anything with the Olympics? Is it
No,
over yet?
no, yes.
It is. Okay. All
You
right.
made the right decision to not watch a second of it. I regret some of the time I spent watching
You
that.
even watched some of it?
Well, some of the events I found kind of interesting, like the track and field. I always thought the high jump was kind of cool.
That is impressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty. People could jump that high. The pole vaulting, I always thought that was cool.
But I quickly realized something. Now, this might be news to you since you didn't watch it. And maybe this is my imagination. Maybe the people in the chat will disagree with me. I swear every single second I was on there, it was just all female athletes. They were just really pushing like all the female athletes, which is fine if it's beach volleyball and tennis because they look good. But I just got really boring. It's like the men were there, but they didn't really care that much about them.
Could you have tuned in on the internet and watched the, say, Japanese broadcast or the Chinese broadcast or the Russian broadcast and not have to deal? Because you're there to witness, which I will admit is amazing physical feats. You don't need English interpreters or play-by-plays. You could just watch people jump off the diving board.
Right. I didn't really look for it, but I got the impression it would be hard to find those alternate broadcasts on the internet because I like Yahoo is paired with NBC.
God, Yahoo.
So
Jesus.
Yahoo is a disaster.
Yahoo, they have farms where they have nothing but a bunch of women and they take all their vaginal excrement and then they sell it on the internet. It's just that's all Yahoo is.
So it's
and
like
they put it up
fans.
and they put it up on their main page. They're the people, man. They're the checkout aisle of the grocery store of the internet. They are such a worthless tabloid of feminist vaginal excrement. It's just like, oh.
But that was the Olympics in a nutshell.
Wow. I'm so glad I didn't watch that. I'm wondering how long, like you can't go all anything. Like you can't have chocolate ice cream all the time. You can't have McDonald's fries all the time. And you can't be, how long has this been this? I know it's been going on since I was a kid, but they've really turned it up 100% or 100 times with this pro-female shit. Like, were we not pro-female enough last year and the year before that? Has anyone been anti-female? I'm like, I just, there's going to be upchuck. People are going to be like, I'm done. And I guess, well, hang on. Let's take a look.
The rating, was
were
this
the
when you were
ratings
looking?
bad?
Oh, the ratings were horrible. I mean, the ratings were so low that it gave me a smile. I'm like, well, that's what you get. That women's soccer team that hates all men, they didn't win it all. So that was kind of nice.
Did they get like bronze or anything?
They got bronze, but I mean, they were expected to go all the way because they're the best and deserve equal pay. So it was good to see Canada beat them.
You know what? Canada, the Canucks beat them.
Yeah, and Canada got the gold. So
our friend who is from that area should be pretty happy.
I'd imagine they are very happy.
no, our buddy, who's also Canadian. Yes.
Yeah,
he's tall, funny looking.
Know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Hang on. This is New York Post, which I know leans. Olympics ratings were doomed before games even started.
Well, time zone difference was a problem too.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Okay. No, that's honest. Least watch Olympics in prime time. NFL Hall of Fame game becomes the most watched preseason bout in 4 years.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what that is. Tokyo Summer Olympics averaged 15.6 million viewers per night across NBC's various televisions and digital platforms, making the least watched primetime Olympics on record, summer or winter. Well, didn't Seoul? I mean, if it's on record, they had the Olympics, 10, 15 years ago?
When was that? Was that the Winter Olympics? That might have been the winter one. Because London was 2012, Brazil was
right here. Okay. The previous low was set by the previous Olympics, 19.8 million Pyeongchang winner. I think that looks like Korean. So they dropped a quarter from another equal time zone because Korea and Japan are roughly the same time zone. So that was a legitimate 25% drop.
I mean, it was inevitable. They politicized everything. The Americans were, getting on a knee
during
the national anthem when they're representing the country.
Yeah, well, and I'm glad it went down. I'm glad. It just, you got to be glad, Vlad. Be glad, Vlad. Happy Cappy, glad Vlad. Just watch these people. No, I think there is a backlash coming because people. You know what I'm curious about?
What's that?
Troy, no super chats. No super chats today, guys. No super chats because I don't.
We have a few. We have a few in there just as a heads up, and one of them is our mutual friend. So I'm definitely going to read that one.
We have more than one friend. I thought you were my only friend in life.
This one is somebody in Texas where I ate better than I have ever eaten in months.
I bet you I've seen pictures of her cooking.
Oh,
it does look good. Yeah.
Holy shit.
And I got her painting is going to go up on the wall back there once I'm done recording stuff.
And I did see that painting too. Great painting.
Shit, what was I going to ask? Damn it. The backlash people. Football. Do you think anyone's going to tune into football?
That's a tough one.
I mean, because it's going to be woker than it's ever been woke, and I'm not standing for the Black national anthem. Go fuck yourself. Okay, we're one country. That fucking is racist right there. Fuck you and your anthem. We're gonna have the Hispanic anthem. We do have the Hispanic anthem.
We need a Hispanic anthem. Actually, this is a very micro story. It's anecdotal, and it's just from my end. There's this group that. It's a group of about 10 to 12 guys from my undergrad, friends from then. So we're talking almost 20 years ago.
Right.
And they've had this fantasy football league, and I've been in and out of it a little bit. When they saw that about how there's going to be the Black anthem and that's going to be played at every game, they all just said, we're done with fantasy football. This is insane. Wow. So yeah, I think people might be walking away from this. They've gone too far.
I think they have gone too far. It wouldn't even be if it's and you're the problem. If you just keep shoving this up people's faces, they're going to get tired of it because of volume. You're flooding the market with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've never really watched sports ball. Maybe I tune into the Super Bowl, maybe, or if it's on, okay, it's something to watch. But I have a feeling the NFL is in for a world of hurt. A world of hurt. And
I think so.
And you know what? We're going to see the same thing facing Google censors or YouTube censors. Do you want to be profitable or do you want to be political? Which one do you want? And we're going to find out because does anyone know? Yeah, go ahead.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Do you know the name of the Washington franchise in the NFL?
Washington Redskins.
They dropped the Redskins for political reasons, and now it's called – they don't even have a name. It's called the Washington Football Team. That's it? That's it.
They couldn't even come up with a team.
They still don't have a name. This is over a year ago, by the way. They've already played a season, without the Redskins name in it.
It's the Washington team?
That's it. They don't have a name.
You know what? I think there was polling done a while ago, and maybe times have changed, but – they pulled a bunch of American Indians. Are you insulted? No. It was 68% were no, we like the Cleveland Indians. We like the Redskins. Huh?
They just changed the Cleveland.
Yeah. But my point is it's the Atlanta Braves or whatever, the handful of teams, Seminoles, all that. For the most part, back when they did the polling, American Indians were pretty much for it. About as far as you could get on a 70% is a pretty big percentage. Sure. And so now, but it's so stupid and petty. There's really nothing better to do. I think what we do, all organizations, governments, industries, economies, companies, they get to this optimal level. And then because of MBA-laden fucks and Carlson School of Management graduates, there always has to be continual progress. It's whoa. What if you let me ask you this. When my fireplaces are finished and I finish the French drain, am I going to do anything else to the house?
I think you're probably going to do other stuff. But
it's done. It's optimized. I don't want more shit. I don't want more furniture. It's perfect.
Well, that's good.
One more item would be too much. One less item wouldn't be enough. It has been perfected. And why the fuck can't people in charge of whatever organizations, be it the NFL or government, local or federal, why can't you just leave it the fuck alone and stop making rules or changes and all this other bullshit? And then they're going to,
I know the answer.
What's the answer? Because people are fucking worthless and they think change for change's sake is good?
I mean, that goes without saying. But the answer is that if they do that, if they stop, if they get what they want, all sorts of people would be out of a job. So the people that are motivated are self-interested. It's not about doing the right thing.
But they're going to be out of a job anyway if they keep pushing away their clients. Okay,
I'll give you another. To know that.
I'll give you another perfect example that has nothing to do with. I hope to God people in big businesses or government are listening to me. All right, because this has nothing to do with politics. When you logged into Twitter, did you notice something different?
You mean like today, recently?
Today, past week. Have you noticed something different when you log into Twitter?
I don't go on there that much, so no, I didn't notice anything different. What are they doing?
You can't just log in. You
can't?
have to click at the bottom and says log in. Beforehand, it was sign in, or you could just log in with username and password prominently displayed. Now, if you go to twitter.com, there's a Facebook, like sign in through Facebook, sign in through this, start new, and then down below it says log in.
Oh, this is new. I didn't even notice this. I don't go on there that much.
Right. But here's a perfect example, and this is the IT world. The more clicks you make, the more you're going to piss us off, and the more you threaten your platform. I use Microsoft, what is it, Exchange, whatever their email program is. All right. Outlook. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. You'll go on the internet, you log in. All right. Do you think then it takes me to my email box?
No, you got to go through all kinds of different hoops to get that.
3 more clicks. Which part of Microsoft Exchange would you like? Well, email. Oh, but we have a calendar and we have schedule. They have like all this shit that no one ever fucking uses. Like there's literally 20 different sub apps. I click email. Then I go to the email. I'm sorry, don't go to the email. That says, do you want us to remember your choices for you so you don't have to do this again? And I say, yes. Do they remember?
No.
So it's like 3 or 4 clicks and they think they're improving it. It's like, no, you have gone past the optimal point that now you are burdening people and pissing them the fuck. Okay, would you like another example that has nothing to do with politics?
Sure.
You don't know this because you don't drive. Parking lots. Now, in the 80s, there'd be a handful of handicap spots, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which I agree with. Okay, if you're handicapped, old, whatever, impaired. Okay, go ahead, right up there. Do you know how many flavors and variations they now have for parking spots?
Oh, good Lord. I can imagine. Expectant mothers.
Veterans.
Yeah.
Disabled veterans. And I'm like, well, what the fuck is the handicap spot for? What aren't they? Doesn't that cover it? What? And you know it is. Oh, look, we care about the veterans. Okay, fine. You care about I'm just thinking like, what the fuck? What was it? Expectant mothers? I think people with children.
Emotional support animals?
Electric vehicles.
Oh, like, really?
Compact cars or fuel efficient cars. I mean, every possible fucking thing. And it's like, look. Would you like a third example, Vlad Elkins?
Of course. This was the clarity I wanted to get.
Was there ever a problem in going to the theater? And I know there's loud people and popcorn and the price. Was there ever a problem outside of the normal tolerating other public people in public? Was there a problem buying a ticket and going and sitting down? Did we have a problem for literally 120 years?
As far as I remember, no.
No. Why'd they come up with assigned seating?
Do they do that now?
Yeah. Did you know about assigned seating?
I barely go to the movies.
That was you have to choose your seat. You can't just buy a ticket and walk in. You got to choose your fucking seat.
Do you know if they charge different amounts based on the seat?
No,
like a baseball game?
I don't think so.
And it makes no sense.
Right. There was some MBA laden fuck from the Carlson School of Management did a study that was probably flawed and he did the wrong methodology, was missing a big piece of data. Hey, you know what? You can eke out another $3. And it's like, no, I'm not. Like if I've literally walked away from, I've gone in the movie theater and I'm like, oh, you got to choose. No, I'm not. No, we're going. GF is like, but we came. No, we're not doing this. This is how you fight back. You tell them no, I'm not. And they were already kind of stagnating, declining before the COVID hit. And now I'm just having, I think God created COVID to bankrupt all the theaters for doing assigned seating. I thought he thought that was such an egregious violation, like worshiping Baal. He says, I'm going to punish the movie theater people like he did the Israelites. And then now they're all bankrupt. But that's my point is you have gone beyond the optimal level of management, organization, rules. Chad, you think I want one more fucking feature in Microsoft Word?
I think it would relax you if you had to keep making more clicks.
Do you remember Word 3.0?
Was that late 90s or
maybe even early 90s? Like bold, underlined, italicized,
yeah, it was
middle. Yeah. And if you want to have a space between the paragraphs, what did you do?
You just hit return. Now you can't do that.
And you know how I know why?
Because you write a lot and you have to go to the paragraph option to space it. I
turned that off. See, I had to inconvenience myself like 5 fucking hours to figure out how to turn that off. I had a guy, he wrote, I got a book right here. Hang on. Give me a second. I'm going to promote it because it is a good book.
Tall and tan and young and lovely.
This book right here, Beyond Demon by Dr. Michael Sullivan. This is the best fiction book I've ever read.
Cool.
By far. Not close, by far.
How'd you find it?
He contacted me. He wanted me to edit the book. A buddy of ours we have in common. She highly recommended me, and I'm like, I don't want to edit. I'm like, you can pay people a lot less money and they'll do fine. He wanted me to do it. So I get the manuscript, and then it comes time to convert it to a file that's uploadable to Amazon. Guess what?
Oh, I've been through this with our tax guides. It's terrible.
You have to hit the paragraph sign. You look at all the code and the editing. You never asked this fucking program to do. But see, Microsoft contacted a bunch of English majors and writers and journalists. And you know what those all have in common?
Annoying features.
They're a bunch of fucking failures. They don't know how to write for shit. They're fucking nobodies is who they are. And so I say, oh, we like this. We like that. We like, oh, look. It's like, yeah, but you don't write anything good. So when it comes time to do the hard work, you want all the fancy gadgets. You want all the fancy instrumentation and panels on the plane, but you don't know how to fly the fucking plane. It's the same thing with authors or wannabe authors. Instead of writing a good story, they have, oh, look, see, I could press this button and it'll indent everything. It'll be all indented. Swear to God, there was 5 hours I pissed away on that damn thing because he did something, not on purpose. He clicked something when it shouldn't have, and you could not get this thing to go back to 1.15 spacing. And I'm like, what the fuck did he do? What the fuck? I need a master's in computer engineering to figure it out. And so that pushing the females in the Olympics, going woke in the NFL, Gay Pride Month that every corporation that just has to put a gay flag up, and which again, I'm very pro gay rights.
I know you don't watch TV, but even the commercials nowadays are along these lines. I'll just say
well, but it inevitably people are going to tune out. They're going to zone out because it's starting to hurt. It's too much. It's a pain in the ass to deal with. It's not even used. And so whether it's pissing people off politically or just pissing people the fuck off because no Facebook, I didn't want to have a secondary login. No, I don't want to tell you. Do you want to allow to discover where you are? No, I don't. You ever go to Golf Now? You ever try and book a round of golf through Golf Now?
Mm-mm.
I wish a competitor would show up and be as good at as thorough as Golf Now. You can't just type in your zip code. It really insists on reading your IP address. And you're like, look, I'm flying to Vegas. I'm not golfing in Minneapolis. I'm going to Vegas. Now, when I type in, what is it, 8, 9, something or other, please search that area. But we see you're in the 55331. So here's everything in Western Minneapolis. And it's just, and if I haven't mentioned it before, what does this do to economic production?
It slows it down. And I wanted
Slows
to
it down. Slows
quick.
it the fuck down.
Well, I wanted to. So it was actually the great one. He had this new short podcast that came out yesterday or the day before, and I was listening to it earlier. Well, do you do a lot of online banking or things like that?
I have to, yes.
Do you remember how, at least the companies I use, you could just log in. You didn't need this double or triple verification where they would send, a code to your phone.
Right.
I'm annoyed that that's become like the universal thing now, personally, because I mean, I have two phones. I don't always have them with me, and I've been screwed where I can't even get in.
Yep.
So,
well, and this guy who wanted me to edit his book, Beyond Demon, action thriller. You can find it paperback and Kindle on Amazon. Please go buy it if you like fiction action thriller. It's a guy's book, but girls would like it too. Because he's a boomer and he's old and he doesn't know how to do the technology, I needed access to his Amazon account to upload the Kindle and the paperback.
Yeah.
So he gives me his username and password. We're going to send you a verification. I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, hey, nope. Doc, pick up. Doc, we got 10 minutes. Doc.
No,
he's out doing something or, surfing or going out with his girlfriend. And it's like, no, I got to wait again. And it's just like, so there went, 3 minutes, we're ready.
Guess who else does this? And it might even be justified. And I know you don't have to use them because you got me. TurboTax does this. So if I want to access maybe a new client's tax return from the previous year, same deal. Like they would give me their login. They'd be like, well, we just sent a text to, your phone with the code. Can't get in. So this is happening everywhere.
Yeah, no, I know. Hey, out of curiosity though, and related, well, let's get through these super chats real quick. Then I want to know about your economic efficiency loss of the day. Here's our friend in common, GS Sav, for $5. Gabby says, "Who's Gabby?"
Gabby says hi. So Gabby is her.
This sounds like a great story already.
It's all right, but I'll tell you what it is. So Gabby is her housekeeper. So as soon as she picked me up, and we got there, Gabby, the housekeeper, was in the middle of cleaning. So
French maid outfit?
No.
Damn it. Okay. It's going to be not as good as the story as I was hoping. All right, go on with your boring.
It's not. Yeah, it's not like that.
Then you went to church. Okay.
Gabby does not speak English very well.
No kidding. Really.
So I basically went in there, and I'm fluent in Spanish. So I was just like, and instantly Gabby fell in love with me.
just like Atham's traitorous sister.
I got away with
Latinas.
It, man.
You got away with those Latinas, man. They don't go out. They like the Vlad Elkums. That's. Oh wait, did we even read what she said?
Oh, she just said, Gabby says hi.
Oh, Gabby says hi. Okay, all right.
There's a few more up there. Yeah. No, Compton Man for $2. No super chats or else. Not joking. Ashley Graham. Ashley Graham. Is that the fat SI model or
no? Ashley. Oh, I'm thinking Lindsey Graham. That's the congressman.
Yeah, not that guy.
I thought there were two separate people because I saw that guy's face, but Lindsey I thought was a girl. For the long, I'm like, who's Lindsey Graham? Why is this old guy constantly being shown? Well, Lindsey, I guess, is also a guy's name.
Yeah.
So Lindsey Graham. Who's Ashley Graham?
A plus size model, I think, if that's the one I'm thinking of.
Graham. Like, I mean, Ashley Graham knows she's not hot. Yeah, no, she's no. God, Jesus. Oh my God. Why?
A quick thing about the super chats. There were a few 99-cent and $2 super chats earlier that I can't find, but we probably wouldn't need to read those anyway.
I told people not to do it. That's just Fred and Atham doing Mexican poops. That's all those guys are doing.
Yeah, Fred gave us a poop. So.
Fred gave us a Mexican poop. Scrolling here. I just want to make sure we don't. Oh, Troy for $5 generous super chat hot tub fund. The hot tub's bought and paid for. I paid cash for it. I paid cash for everything. Yeah. My finances are that good. I did not borrow any money, but then again, I didn't actually spend a lot of money. I think all the furniture set, including that little waterfall plug-in thing that I have, I think it was all under $4,000. And that included the bed, which I got at a discount, chairs and the rugs and the carpets. And then, and this new chair, I got this. This was like $110. But it may have even been under $3,000.
Well, don't forget the air mattress.
That was $150.
Yeah.
And Well, I did have to get I got to get a ladder. That's going to be a little bit, but no, I was like, I furnished this place dirt cheap, and I had a little bit of extra money left over that I could afford a hot tub. So that was.
Did you say the hot tub itself was just $800?
No, 800 pounds. It weighs 800 pounds. Right. And then when you throw in the water, it's up to 4,500 pounds. And then you throw in a certain amount of people, you're at like 5,000 pounds. And so we had to make sure like the planks in the deck wouldn't collapse, and those concrete cinder blocks would hold, and all that other stuff. So
you know what my job is with that is to find a way to write it off.
Why do I have a feeling you trying to write off a hot tub is going to land me in jail or extra fines? Why? How about?
I am just kidding. However, if you start doing asshole consulting videos
from a hot tub,
and there's a reason you're doing it from the hot tub, like some kind of new theme you're doing, we could appreciate that, maybe, kind of, sort of. Just saying.
That's stretching it a bit for me.
It's stretching it.
Wouldn't you have to be in the hot tub industry to really be able to write off a hot tub? Like if it was your business. Now, if I had, remember James Brown? It wasn't James Brown. It was Eddie Murphy, James Brown Celebrity Hot Tub Party.
Oh, yeah.
Where you say, okay, like if I had a handful of gals and a band behind me singing, and we'd have like the hot tub party, kind of like Modern Life John does Dude Bro Party. I did a hot tub party, and we regularly had people over, and I'd interview people in the hot tub. Maybe you could, and I'm not the CPA. I would imagine at most you could write half that off.
Fresh and Fit, if they had certain of their shows where these hot chicks, well, whatever type of chicks that they're interviewing during these things, and they had like hot tub segments, oh yeah, you could write that off.
Yeah, they could, but that's more. You could make a very good argument.
Yeah.
That is part of their shtick it's not shtick. That's part of their motif.
Right. I'm kind of just messing with you on this, but yeah.
Okay. Because whereas I'm the grumpy old man. By the way, I got a TikTok account. Did I tell you that?
I saw that. I'll have to get that on my phone sometime.
Our friend in common who fattened you up and made you 132 pounds instead of 130. She whatever she likes when I get angry and ranty. So go to TikTok. I'm the old man who yells at clouds. That's my handle. Old man who yells at clouds on TikTok. And it's just me grabbing the phone. You fucking young kids suck. Fuck you. I'm an old man. And then I tell them why they suck. And then every once in a while we get a couple of people like,
I like you pissed off and ranting too. So when you're in a good mood, it's like, man, we either have to change that or
maybe the hot tub will just be Good Mood Cappy, the Good Mood Hour with Cappy and friends in hot tub.
And we would write that off. No, I'm joking.
We could write off half. We could write off half.
Yeah.
Here's the problem though. When you were here in South Dakota, did you notice any hot chicks?
God, except for there was a waitress. I think one of the places we went to there was a decent looking server. Beyond that, I don't think I saw any.
Yeah, there's not a lot. No, there's not a lot of good looking girls. So I don't know where I'm going to see Fresh and Fit. They're in Miami, and there's plenty of young gals, but surprisingly not as hot as you. Not that the ones that they grabbed weren't hot, but I'm like, he's like, oh, there's hot girls all over the place. I hadn't been in Miami in almost 20 years, and so I went down there. I'm like, okay, I was expecting like just a sea of hot babes. And it's like, okay, 1 in 3 are bangable, which is super high. Yeah. But it's not like the 90s where girls were in short skirts and heels and they're going to the nightclub or anything like that. I was like, oh, I thought it was going to be like an opening scene in Magnum PI where all the girls are in bikinis and running around and all that. And it was not. But South Dakota certainly doesn't have 1 in 3 women looking good. It is literally probably 1 in 50, maybe 1 in 100.
When we went to the Badlands, we went into that. It was like a museum type thing. Remember, we went in there.
Yeah, we went to the where they. Oh, was it their lab? We went to their fossil lab.
Yeah, I thought the gal who was working on it, who was in from Texas doing it, I thought she was pretty good looking. But beyond that, I can't.
In from Texas, right?
Yeah,
not South Dakota. No, there were plenty of hot girls on motorcycles. If you look, but Colorado, New York, Tennessee, whatever, but there really isn't that many good looking chicks here.
Is Sturgis this weekend?
That ends. No, it's a 10-day event, and it ends tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last.
Oh, okay.
Thank God. Because if you want to go on the west side of Rapid City, it was a zoo. Immediately to the west side, I don't know if we... Did I take you to... Yeah, we went to Deadwood.
We went to Deadwood, yeah.
All right.
Spearfish.
We went past... You go past Rapid City, you go past the mountains. I don't know if you noticed it, but to your right is the Harley dealership of the Black Hills right there. Okay. Mm-hmm. That is a clusterfuck. It is all tents, all RVs, all... I want all of you to hear me, all you assholes. Because like you get to Sturgis or Deadwood, the riders got actually pretty good. But you fuckwits that camped out there with your RVs and your chair, you all drive like your fucking grandma. You're a bunch of fucking pieces of shit. I'm glad to see you all tipped your motorcycle. Oh God, it was horrible, Chad. They don't know how to fucking... So I don't know what it was about the low quality of drivers, motorcyclists, that Harley dealership dragged, but they did. So right off the bat, once you're on the west side of Rapid City, it gets all fucked up. Then you got to get to either get to Sturgis or you go into Nemo and you get into the Black Hills. Then it got a little bit better. But my God, they don't know how to. It was horrible. It was horrible.
We went to Nemo. Yeah, we went to Nemo.
We didn't go to Nemo.
Didn't we? We weren't hiking around.
No, we didn't go hike around. We did Harney's Peak.
What was the first one we did where we walked around and, we came down and it was like neighborhoods. We were walking through a town. Maybe that's not Nemo. Maybe
that's Deadwood. Yeah, we hiked.
Was that Deadwood?
Yeah, that was the gold mine trail or whatever. We hiked from Deadwood to Lead.
I was thinking Lead. Yeah.
Lead. That was a fun hike. I really enjoyed that. You got to see something
great.
Different. Yeah. But yeah, so the rally, the last day is tomorrow. Thank God. And then, but yeah, I decided to stay on the southern end of the hills just because I didn't want to go into, you can't find parking in Rapid City. Thankfully the Menards isn't busy because tourists don't shop at Menards. And that's just kind of a straight shot up. You don't even have to go into town for that. But yeah, if you want to go anything west of Rapid City, it was a zoo. It was just a freaking zoo. So, but that's all over. But anyway, getting back to Troy's thing, the money, I don't know what I'm going to do with the money because I did pay cash for the hot tub. I don't know where it's going to go. I already paid for the gravel.
Well, you can have, this is all you. I don't want any of this.
Yeah. The ladder fund. Right? I'm going to get a ladder because I bought this. You could get storage that goes above your garage door. When your garage door opens, there's space between the garage door and the ceiling. Mm-hmm. And so you can anchor. It's basically just putting a rafter up there so you could store stuff up above instead of down below on the ground. And do you know why, especially in South Dakota, you want to store stuff above and not below on the ground?
There might be animals or insects on the ground.
What kind of insects?
Yeah, you told me this yesterday. The freaking black widow spiders.
I found 3 black widow spiders. Oh, yeah.
God.
And turns out they're very common in the United States. It's only in the upper Midwest. They're not around. But I saw 3 of those fuckers. And no. So I am trying to get, and it paints me into a paradox because what I wanted to do was get like a workbench and a tool case, and all that. And I'm thinking like, well, they hide in dark corners. So either I got to find some kind of workbench or tool case that caulks right up. Like it goes all the way up to the wall. So no spiders can get in there. And like, I'm literally going to caulk that thing. Mm-hmm. Or I got to have like some kind of Stanley tool set on wheels that I can move it around or something like that. But I'm like, oh yeah, I have got to get all my stuff off the ground and make sure whatever's on the wall is flush against the wall because I do not want black widow spiders getting into the house at all. So, but that will be, so the ladder to help me put up that loft, essentially, that's where the money will go. Here's a super sticker. What is it?
Let's see. He sent that earlier. It was a piece of shit.
I got to hold the world's record for shit emojis sent to me. I think I did. What's his name? PewDiePie's got nothing on me.
Fred for $2. Cap's height never hurt him with the gals. Needed an MBA.
Yeah, it's an MBA. Yeah. No, it never did actually. I mean, it hurt in the medium to long run. Like girls would always go on a date or two with me, but they would always end up breaking it off, even though we would have a great time because girls they don't want to settle. I not to sound like a woe is me. girls don't like short guys. That's just how simple it is.
Yeah, I agree.
No. Now, if you find the right one or you're really impressive, your girl will like you. And, okay, let me take that back. Girls like short guys. They just don't want to be seen in them in front of their friends and family. That's probably what it is. Because there are a lot of tall gals I thought were getting along great, and almost sadly, it's like, well, yeah, no, I had a good time. I just don't think it's going to work out. You're just like, oh, okay, well, I kind of like you too, but bye.
I think that's the thing with women in their 20s that are more into like impressing their friends and family.
I know they want taller guys out of simple genetics. I know you'd feel safer with a taller guy, but do you think a lot of it also has to do with like, oh, she's dating a guy who's only 5'8"? Oh, I mean,
yeah, it's a competition. It's an arms race between her and her group of friends. You know, who can get the the biggest catch. And I believe this. I think that's what goes on in 20s. Yeah.
Does anyone win that game?
Well, not the guys.
No, do the girls win it either? Because they chase after guys that aren't going to marry them, and they'll get laid, and the guys will be like, but then they won't commit. Does that ever work out?
I don't think it works out that much. That's how that whole 80-20 thing came about, the theory.
Well, if I had just had my MBA, I would have slayed some tail.
Never helped me.
Yeah.
Competent man for $2. What replaced the IKEA sofa that failed? Did you get an IKEA?
No, I went to Walmart.com. Which I cannot sing the praises enough. That's how I spent so little money on furnishing the place. I got you saw it. It's the mid-century modern black leather couch with the silver feet.
I slept on it, right?
Yeah, slept on it, right. So that's what replaced it. So you could get a Shea lounge and a futon, and they got Velcro on the side so they can hook up. So I got 2 futons and the Shea lounge. So one futon goes this way. The Shea lounge is on the edge of that one. And then there's a end table with a lamp on it. And then another futon that is, probably is camouflaged in with the black background, but it's a very modern looking James Bond thing. Would you admit I pulled off the James Bond villain look?
I'd say so.
Yeah. So,
we were there when you got those blinds.
That's right. And I installed them. You guys sat on your asses. Yeah, that was a great old time. Here's some free.
I had fun with it,
Yeah. So that's what replaced the IKEA sofa. And the sofa never failed. It never showed up. Fred again.
Fred for $2. Kat, my feminist friend wants to know where good guys go. Not to them.
They go the opposite direction. I think most good guys are just they're doing their thing. If they're out, they're doing their thing, and if they're not out, they're just staying in, chilling out, playing video games and whatnot. Great one has I wish I liked reading, but his work is seasonal, and he's going to spend the winter here because I'm not going to be here during winter. I'm going to be down in Vegas where there's no snow, and his goal is to get a bunch of books and just read them.
Really?
That's all he wants to do is just read his books with the fireplace going, and that's it.
It's an introvert, huh?
He kind of, well, not really. He's got friends in Fort Collins. We've gone out. I mean, he's social. I just think he's very comfortable by himself. But yeah, I think most guys, they're not looking. There's a article, a professor friend of mine, he's a mathematician, very interesting fellow. And he always gets the dope on because he's a professor in research, he always gets the dope on the latest research to come out. Well, someone tied men having no expectation of getting married to them not working or not working as hard or labor force participation rates. And I don't know how you do this, but they statistically prove that it's one of the main determining factors. Like, well, if men don't expect to get married, then they don't have to work as much, and then they don't. And so what would have normally made a high quality marriageable man, when they interpret these market signals like, okay, girls say they don't need us. Did you know that women don't need you? Did you get that memo? Did you get I didn't know this until like recently. They don't need no man.
It involved a bicycle or a fish, something like that.
Right. And then they want to focus on themselves, and you hear it. And can you imagine after 50 years of that, Some men might have been listening and said, "Oh, okay, I'm not going to get married then." And then
Isn't it funny how what we want matters too? Isn't that odd?
That's it's. I love how women just ask us, "Well, what do you want? And how can we deliver?" They dote on our every women desire. They say they spend. Well, and this is a great observation I had about the red pill versus whatever the feminist pill you want to call it. I guess we call it feminism. Women are, most women, not all of them, but most women, when they see the red pill or community or whatever, they're abhorred and they think men are misogynists. And if you look at it, I'd say damn well near 75% of it is men trying to figure out how to impress and get women ultimately. So it is totally tailored towards delivering what women want. Okay, we're going to hit the gym. We got to make money. You got to be tall, groom, and all that. You look at feminism, there is nothing like that. Nothing about, well, what do men, like men say, what are women like? Okay, that's how they are. Let's tailor our strategies. Feminists don't, there is nothing like that in the entire cacophony of the, three what?
Just to confirm your theory, sometime go to that Reddit page that's called Female Dating Strategy.
That's shtick. That's
you've seen it before. Okay.
Yeah, that's sensationalism. That's yes. But go on. Tell the listening audience about it.
Well, it's to go along with what you were saying. If you go on, these red pill blogs or Reddit or whatever, this is what you need to do to get to girls. And right, it's like stay in shape, get a good job, groom yourself well, dress well, basically all about self-improvement. Well,
right. But it operates from the premise, what do they want? Let's deliver it to them. So you are putting the female desire first and foremost. Okay. All right. Go on. Continue.
And then you go to this female dating strategy thing. Like, I know you think to me, this is kind of...
There's always a bit of truth. Okay.
Yeah.
It's 60% true. All right.
And they're not asking what men want. They're mainly concerned with how they can manipulate men to get what they want. But not just any man. And this is a famous term on there. You have to be an HVM. That's high value men. That's the acronym. And LVM is low value man. So
that's like us.
Yeah. Well, clearly. Right. Because their expectations are. So what they say is like, some LVM approached me when I was in the supermarket today. And, there's all these stories like that. So it's just they're coming at it from two different angles.
I'm trying to remember where I was. And I don't think it was when you were here because Chris was here and he's not making his 6 figs yet or anything like that. But I was hanging with a bunch of guys and I realized like 4 of the 5 guys were all clearing 6 figures, me being the 5th one who was not. So, so I'm looking at them and they're all single and okay, one guy was a little short and overweight. All right. So I can understand girls not being physically interested in him. But like none of them were married. I'm like, well, here's 4, 3.5 guys that are good that would normally should. Not one of these guys is out looking.
Like in Rapid City? Were you in Rapid City for this?
No, that's what I'm trying to. It could have. This may have been a while ago, but it could have even been online. I want to say it was at the cigar lounge, but I don't have that many people here at the same time, so maybe it was online or something. But it was just like, wow, these are some impressive guys, and it's not that they make any girl happy. It's none of them. No girl could find them if they wanted to, because these guys aren't dressing up. They're not signaling. They're not peacocking. They don't drive fancy cars. They're just highly compensated, in shape, pretty good looking guys, except for the one guy who is short and probably could use to lose a little weight. But where did the good guys go? You tell her they're not looking. They're gone. I mean, they're there, but what? See if you can complete my thought. Men aren't looking. They're there, but men aren't looking. What's going to have to happen?
Well, I would say the women have to become desirable prospects to these men, but the women are going to have to, unfortunately for them, start approaching the men, because I think women hate that.
Yeah, unfortunately, girls are going to have to be equal now.
Well, they don't like that either.
No, they don't like. They like the idea.
Yeah,
they like equal benefits. Not equal responsibility.
They like the upside, but none of the downside.
All upside. Oh God, I get so pissed. Well, I like being a feminist, but when it comes to dating, I'm more of a tradition. Shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up. You lazy coward piece of shit.
Cuddle looks. That's all of them. All of them have that attitude.
I like it when men buy me things and take me out and pick me up and do all the nice things for me. But when it comes to the other stuff, then it's like, no.
That's what they're like. There's such hypocrisy.
It is. And they make it seem like, oh, well, this is perfectly all right. And not the biggest fucking hypocritical contradiction ever. Like, it's like, no. And what's great, I'm not, Joker pointed this out as well. He was at the gym and watching. Just stand around and look at the guys. Okay, like Fred, does Fred go out and pound pavement?
Fred, tell us if you do that. He's still in the chat, so
yeah, no, but I, of course, dating a gal, but I don't ask girls out. I mean, I wouldn't ask out even a fraction of the girls I used to ask out. Like, no guy is out there asking girls out. Now, every once in a while, you might get a LVM to ask you out at the grocery store. Okay, fine, but I don't know any guys that are like, And so I'm sorry, girls, you're gonna have to ask the guys out. It's just. Equality, it's a bastard.
But that feels icky and makes me uncomfortable. I'm not going to ask them out.
And then here's where they add salt to the insulting wound. Whoever asks pays. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Just no.
Without exception, that seems to be the case.
Well, whoever asks pays. Well. I guess I'm going out by myself again today, and I'm going to have a good meal. I'm going to get myself a chocolate shake because you're not around. All right. Yeah.
Fred for $2. IKEA game. Ex-girlfriend was my IKEA cashier. Asked her out. You mean the one out in Schaumburg or a different one? Bacon, what up, Bacon? 223.
I've been binging on his podcast. He's on YouTube now at the goddamn Bacon. So you search the goddamn Bacon on YouTube, and you can. He's pretty good. He's just really even keeled and all that. and the only thing, and Bacon, you do not have to change this. This is just my personal preferences. Other people may enjoy it. Then he talks about his girlfriends and the sexual stuff they did. I'm like, no. I like Bacon talking about how much Seattle sucks and very Bacon observations. So I was fingering her nipples. And all right, I guess get to the next one. So.
I'll be in his neck in the woods in a few days.
Yeah.
Bacon, for 223. One final shot in the hopes Cappy gets it fixed.
There'll be plenty of super chats opportunities on the regular channel. And we should all learn how to do super chats or just tune in or subscribe to alternative platforms. Okay. So there's a way to do it. I got to sit down and evaluate and strategize, but don't worry. I mean, it's not like I'm going anywhere. I'll still be here.
So this is probably the last live stream
It's the last live stream on YouTube. I will record elsewhere, convert it to an MP4, upload it here, just so people want to. But otherwise, you're going to have to. No super chats, guys. Just stop with the super chats. All right.
Keep coming.
The money's not coming to me. It's staying with Google. Plus, I have other topics I want to talk about. Matt Erickson, $2. Take care of this.
You can get one Rapid City girl in the tub at a time. Oh, I forgot to mention this. You know how me and the kid went to the gym a couple of times?
Yeah.
When we were there?
Yeah.
That is where I going back to your earlier question, we did see a bunch of very attractive women at the gym, as attractive women tend to do, is go to the gym. Right. So they do exist.
That's where I have seen a handful of attractive. There was one where I was like, my God, that ass needs to be tapped like a fucking North Dakota oil field. Holy cow. But that's about the only place too that you go out to the grocery store or something, you're like, There was a really tall redhead that walked down. She had cowgirl boots on. I was like, hey, how you doing?
There you go.
Yeah.
You love the redheads, man.
Who doesn't? But probably not you after you.
Not me after my experience.
Ask your dad if he liked Vietnam. All right.
When we're offline, I'll tell you what my dad said.
Let's bang through these quickly, and that's it. Fred, stop it with the $2 super chat. Don't do any super chats. Just go. Boom.
Is Cappy short though? What is average height? 5'9".
5'9".
Whatever. Yeah.
I am short because men under 6 feet tall don't exist.
Stephen B for $5. Clary, isn't South Dakota depressing with no trees? You don't miss trees in the plains. It looks so dreary in pics. Are there fewer meatheads than in Wyoming?
There are plenty of trees in the Black Hills.
Trees there, yeah.
In the prairie, no, but in the Black Hills, yes. And are there fewer meth heads than Wyoming? Yes. South Dakota. If Wyoming was like Minneapolis, South Dakota would be like Edina. But well, maybe not Edina. Eden Prairie. There's still slow, dumb people. Everyone's fat, but I have not had to pull my gun out because some drunk meth head was yelling at me for looking at his woman. I haven't had someone banging on my door at 2 a.m. But so far that has not happened yet in South Dakota.
Fred for $2. Vlad is 5'9" and gets hot redheads. Spin more plates. An inch or two shorter than that, but not much more than that. $2. Rolo convinced me Cappy, me et al. Are gamma males.
What's
gamma
et al?
males.
What is that Latin for?
I guess most of us or all of us or something. It convinced all of us that we're gamma males.
What was QED? What was that?
God, I don't even know. I remember the reference, but I don't.
Yeah, like there'd be a lawyer and he'd make his final statement QED. I'm like, quickly ejaculate, and what? I don't. What's QED? I don't know. Somebody will point it out to us here.
Gamma male, I guess, is kind of worse than a beta. I don't know.
Yeah, gamma males.
Bacon for $2.43. Where are all the good men inside younger women? Yeah, most likely. Fred for $2. Gals asked me out in high school for turnabout dance.
That's like Sadie Hawkins. You ever hear about Sadie Hawkins?
Yeah, I do know about that.
Yeah, that I think they tried that at my school once and no one went because no girls asked any guys out.
This has all probably been banned. Mexi Mike for $2. Nice, Bacon. He's laughing at something Bacon said, I think. Goth Rocker $5. Why is this the last stream? I enjoy these.
It's not the last live stream. It's the last live stream on YouTube. We are going to alternative platform.
This is just this channel, right?
It's just this channel, right? Because YouTube is making it impossible to switch over. It's not even the monetize. It isn't even the money. It's just like it's more that I think there's opportunity elsewhere. I think that, and this is great. We already have the Older Brother podcast brand. I have the artwork. I have the website. I think it's viable. It is viable. It's just that I think this is the perfect time to experiment. And if YouTube is going to be extra difficult in switching over an EIN number, then fine. And by the way, I don't know if you knew this, but to get paid by YouTube, you need to give them an EIN number. Now, what if you move? Do you think anyone's going to move? You can't move. If all your income comes from YouTube, you can't move. Or you can't change an LLC.
You know what bothers me the most about the setup we're in with this? Then this is a good reason why this is your last stream on here. They're going to send you a 1099 no matter what. And it's going to have all that old information on there.
Yeah, I know. And that's another, it's like, okay, so I got to spend another $100 of your labor to deal with this. And it's just like, no.
I mean, it's no skin off my back, but it does add, like, it's an inefficiency that adds an unnecessary step.
It's, and you know what? That's why when people are this difficult, you don't deal with them. Like I had the trim guy was supposed to come over here and do the trim. All right. Mm-hmm. Do I have to deal with him? No. What is he going to come here 2 years from now? I mean, it's like you don't deal with people or entities that consume more time than what you could ever possibly hope to profit off of. And now YouTube is being very difficult. It's not very difficult, unacceptably difficult. It's not, it's no, you are there. I do not see future profit to be made continuing to interact and have Google as a partner on this channel. And it's sad. And it's really sad. All it would take is maybe 10 minutes of somebody's time. So at 90 grand, that's $45 an hour, 1/6 divide by 6 goes into 45, 7.5 times. So for $7.5 of YouTube's money of labor, you could pay someone over whoever handles 1099s and LLCs to approve my fucking EIN number, and you'd make hundreds of dollars, which is hundreds, if not thousands % rates of return over the feasible lifetime of this channel. But since we're going to be extra quantahi, you lose out on that income. And it's too bad. Because for all the politics, I do enjoy the YouTube platform. It works well. And they know how to monetize everything. It's just whether you could get paid is another issue. All right, I think we're all caught up now.
There's a few more. Yeah. Speaking of trim, I like doing trim myself, if you know what I mean.
Trim what? Hey, speaking of trim.
Yes. For $5, the beautiful Gia Sav says, y'all are both looking pretty hot tonight, even with the scruff. Nice job.
I got to shave this underneath here. And
she was talking about overwash.
All right, she talking. Wait, is this going to be another Atham thing? She's just talking about you, and so she says, y'all. See, that's Texas for you guys.
Yeah, no, we never get an answer out of her.
Yeah. See, I'll just saying, well, it was really more 95% Chad and 5% you.
See, with Atham's sisters, there was an even match. 1 versus 1. Here, it's 2.
Well, wait, did his younger sister think I was a better looking?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the older thought I was, I think. Where's Atham? Get on here, Atham.
The older one did find you more attractive. The only reason I was so perturbed is not that she found you more attractive than me. It's that she broke the eldest sibling code, where she's the eldest sibling. Have you ever hung out with Atham and his sisters?
No, I mean, she's actually met you and hasn't met me. That's why I thought you were going to say you felt bad.
She's the eldest, and you can see the behavior. Like, she'll lecture Atham. Not like in a mother, but like, she's kind of the queen bee. Not that Atham's rolling over doormat either. He kind of, yeah, and he'll roll his eyes and all that. But you could tell she cares about her younger brother. Atham is little Poquito, and she definitely is the eldest sibling. So I thought, eldest sibling, I got, you're gonna come out, you're gonna cover that. No, she betrayed the cult, and then she said that you were better looking. So it wasn't even that you were better looking. I can't trust her as an eldest sibling anymore. We have to revoke her eldest sibling card because she betrayed one of her brethren.
Well, for what it's worth to you, I have an older sister who oftentimes acts just like Atham's sister does to him. So yeah, older sisters, they do that.
Yeah, they are, but they're older sisters. They're supposed to do that.
Right.
Yeah. See, I don't have older siblings. That's why I'm so fucking awesome. And I'm always right all the time. Brother. And I yell, and people sometimes listen.
I like being the youngest. Fred for $5. I do ask out gals, but still they give me a weird reaction often if I don't have an Instagram. But my last girlfriend, redhead, big boobs, from DMV, Fred. Was a person. Really? God, I go to the DMVs around here, and they're disgusting.
Wow, the redheads with the. I've never pulled off that confluence of events. Redheads, yes. Big tits, yes. Redheaded big tits, no. Just
Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah, that would be, put that in human form. That'd be pretty good. All right, now we're finally caught up with the super chats. All right, no more super chats. None. We did that. Oh, what was your economic efficiency loss of the day?
I feel like you might have already talked about a similar incident, but I'll tell you anyway.
You do. Hang on for 1 second. Hang on. I got to take off I got my sweatshirt on. It's getting hot in here. Hang on.
Your fresh and fit sweatshirt. How do I get one of those?
What the hell? All right, there we go.
I swear I either heard this on your channel or I read this online. I was grocery shopping a couple days ago, the place that's right across from where I live. You've probably been there. And I finally get to the checkout line. It's pretty busy, and they don't have enough checkout lines available. Like even the self-serve ones, they were maybe not working or something. So I noticed that one of the lines is shorter than the other. So naturally, I go to that line. Oh, my God. Before I go on, what is perhaps the most annoying thing that could possibly take place when you are in a grocery store checkout line?
I was going to say the fat middle-aged woman stops at an intersection of aisles. But at the checkout line?
Yeah, checkout line.
At a grocery store?
Yes.
Big grocery store or small Chicago size?
Big. Let's say big. Well, big. Like, yeah, mine's a big one.
Because if a small one, I'd say they get lottery tickets and they buy cigarettes and they pay with check. But that's smaller.
A non 7-Eleven type store, like a real grocery store.
What you're in line, it's a short line. And what's the worst thing that could happen?
What would be like, the most annoying occurrence? You're in line. When you're in line, all you want to do is get it paid for and leave.
Is there someone ahead of you on this?
Yes, one person ahead of you, but all it takes is one.
Right. They didn't have enough money to pay.
Yes.
Oh,
didn't you already talk?
come
You
in.
talked about an incident like that, didn't you?
No, I don't think so. No.
Well, I heard it somewhere. Yes, this dumb fuck. And this was a dude. This wasn't a Karen. I don't think he was mentally challenged or anything, because you could almost excuse that. But he apparently only brought $40 worth of cash. He didn't have anything else to pay it with. And they scanned like $70 worth of items.
So it wasn't like $40.50. This was like he blew way past it, right?
Yes. So, and again, my immediate thought is, I mean, is he retarded? Because I can't be upset about this, if he is. He wasn't, because I heard him talking like this was just a normal person. Now, do you think he went ahead and said, you know what, just void the whole thing, we can go to customer service and handle it? Wouldn't that have been nice? Or do you think he systematically went through all those items again and was trying to figure out what to keep and what to get rid of?
I'm going to go through the second one. I'll go with the second one.
So that's bad enough. So when he's doing that, he thinks he's finally got the right amount where he can afford it. Turns out he doesn't. He was still about $8 short. So guess what he does again?
Goes through the whole thing again?
He spends more time going through these items to try to find the optimal combo. And somebody had walked in in the checkout line behind me when this has happened. And I turn over to them and I'm just like that. And they look at me and they immediately grab their stuff and go to another line. See, my stuff was already on the belt. I'm saying like my stuff's on. So I'm kind of committed. Yeah, I was committed.
Yeah, see, I would have like picked up my shit, and depending on how big he was, I'm like, thanks, fuckwit, you can't do math. Because I'm for punching back now. I'm for pushing back, and it's like, I'm grabbing my shit. And like
was just I thought this would only take a couple of minutes. Maybe we make that mistake sometimes. You put an item or two back.
Not twice the amount that I brought cash. And if you're on cash, if all you got is cash, you should normally be acutely aware what prices are, because you don't have the backup of the credit card or the debit card to go, for $100 or whatever.
I haven't even told you what I think was the absolute worst part about this. Is the more I was observing, the more I reached this conclusion. You ready for this? This is how this person shops. This is what they do. They don't care if they can afford it or not. They just have him go through this entire process.
Do you think, like, being illiterate, he doesn't know how to do math, like basic math?
This is why I thought maybe he was mentally handicapped in a non-insulting way. I thought, well, maybe he just doesn't know any better. But I really think this was just a regular person that shops this way.
Didn't know how to do math. That's some people I've never heard about people who. I mean, everyone's not great at math, but you should be able to add. But just as people are illiterate, I guess you could be illiterate at math and not know that the 10 plus the 15 equals a 25.
I guess that could have been an explanation, but I mean, it took them between 15 and 20 minutes. And by then, like I said, I had a big shopping trip. I'd already had 40 items on the belt or more. So I just
mention your time is worth way more than the $7 or the $10 or whatever he might have saved or whatever. That's what gets me. Is it's like I constantly think now, like I could be doing asshole consulting and making $100 an hour. Like this cost me $40 because this fuckwit tipped. Oh God. So when we remember the switchbacks we went up to get to Harney's Peak?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Went through the tunnels and all that. Not one, but two boomers, big, fat fucking boomers tipped their bikes on those hairpin turns. One was at the bottom. They held it. And then when we came back down, there was another one. And they got all these guys trying to lift up the bike. And I'm just like, and you could see like one guy was all like ashamed. And I think he hurt his leg. At least 300 pounds. At least 300 pounds. And a brand new bike too. Brand new bike. I'm like, I hope your fucking knee is wrecked, and I'm glad that your brand new little Harley there that's all turquoise blue is all scratched to hell, holding everyone up. So
God, that sounds bad.
But again, would you like to be that guy?
No, and that's why when people piss me off, I don't always stick to this, but I ask myself, would I want to trade places with them? No. Well, see ya.
Well, all right. Well, I'm glad you had your economic efficiency loss of the day.
Yeah, it was just, I hope something like that. I hope that's the worst one I ever experienced, because I actually did have work to do that day. So,
Did you hear Cynic in Chief sent me an article to the Wall Street Journal. And the Wall Street Journal is maybe one of 2 publications that are still worth subscribing to, but I'm still not going to pay for their articles because remember when we were younger, like, oh, the Wall Street Journal, oh my God, super geniuses read that. Do you remember that? Like it was like Harvard or something.
It was required reading. When I was an undergrad studying business, we had to have a subscription to the Wall Street Journal. So it was a pretty good publication.
Yeah, it's pretty good, but it wasn't this like IQ of 150. Like the Ivy League. I remember in the 80s, oh my God, Harvard, Yale. Now, if you tell me you went to Harvard or Yale, I'm like, suck my dick. I'm not impressed. I'm really not. I got my MBA. Oh, good for you. You know, and it's, I read the Wall Street Journal. Like, okay, so you got an IQ of 102. Good for you. But still some good writing. Handful articles per issue are worth reading. And this one would definitely be worth reading because there's some good journalism. It's very telling. The only problem is it's behind a paywall, and I'm not going to pay. But did you hear about the rise of people that have 2 jobs while working from home?
Is that what's going on? I haven't heard about that.
That's what's going on. I know someone actually rather close to me who works a full-time job. They're remote. And this person, I'm not going to say male or female, this person realized that they could work another full-time job because, now tell me if you've ever been in this situation. You're only working 2 to 3 hours a day out of an 8-hour shift. Have you ever been in that position?
I mean, if it was the government that I worked for, it was even less than that. So yeah.
Right. Well, and that was, I made the observation when I was working in banking or interning and quote my real career. On average, I never worked really more than 3 hours a day. 3 was even pushing it. I mean, and every once in a while you'd have a full day. Sometimes you have 10-hour day, but I get my stuff done and then it would be about a 2-hour day. And so this person, among apparently millions of other people, are double dipping. So because they could do both jobs at the same time. Now, where do you think I land on this?
That's actually a tough one for me. I think you would be in favor of it, right?
Absolutely. If you can double your income, like let's say you got to be at your desk or you got to be on call 8 hours a day, but you're only working 1. Or because of these baby boomer boss fuckwits who don't know how to manage fuck all shit. And please, will you all fucking retire, get the fuck out of the way so the Gen X fuckwits can maybe get us up to an hour and a half of real production per 8-hour shift. You are never, especially smart people, you will never work 8 hours a day. You'll sit at a desk for 8 hours a day. So if you're beholden to them, abso-fucking-lutely make twice the amount. Remember, it was a couple of years ago, a guy, he was a programmer and he just outsourced his job to that programmer in China to do it for like 20 grand. It's brilliant.
Well, would you say, so one thing I did in college once was you get a job that it pays nothing, but you don't actually have to do anything for the job. So you do studying. I would study while I'm getting paid. Is that kind of the same thing? Or is
kind of the same thing? Yeah, you just, if you're a student, that's working towards your career. Lord knows that a good half of my books have been written while I was working for somebody else.
Oh, you did the security guard stuff. That's right.
Well, security, yes, but even working in banking. A lot of my blog posts also were on banking time because they couldn't keep up with the volume. They could not keep me occupied. And what was brilliant about that is, what do you think I wrote about in my blog back in the day?
What's that?
Economics and finance. So if they went through my browser history, they'd see economics and finance. Oh, he's just doing industry studying because they're fucking idiots. And they're all fired and one's dead. But the point is, I was able to build my blog while working at different employers, while getting paid and not having any downtime. And about half my damn pages remove security. Half the damn books that I've written have been written while working for someone else. And if they get all pissed off, I won't say who or where or what or when or what percentages or what times. But, oh, you want to come and get that money? Go fuck yourself. You sat on our fucking asses 6 hours a fucking day doing nothing. And so I think it's great. I think it's because think about that. That's a huge bump. You're getting paid, let's say 50 grand a year. Is that a lot in today's world if you're living in a metro area?
No, that's not a lot.
So you get another $55,000 a year job. Now you're making 105. Is that good?
Somebody that you know, because you've met him when you came here, this is exactly what he does.
When's the last time I went there?
Oh, this was like 4 years ago. The guy I would go sailing with.
Oh, is that how he? Yeah.
This is he's been doing this for years,
and he makes a lot of money now, doesn't he?
Makes a ton of money. He has a sailboat.
There is no reason. This is one thing that pissed me off. Like originally, it's like I'm done with my work. Can I go home? No, you got to stay here.
Oh yeah.
What? What do you mean I got to stay here? And it was torture sitting there for 6 hours a day when you could bang it out in 2 hours. And now that it's like, there are so many blessings of the great and merciful Corona Chan. And this is one of them where it's like, oh, we got to work at home because the Epsilon or the Tango variant is here now. Okay. Oh, well, if you're not going to do site visit, you can't come visit because I'm afraid of the Tango variant. Oh no, the Epsilon variant. The Whiskey Charlie variant. Oh, nosies. Don't come into put a big Mr. Yuck sign in your front and then just work 3 jobs and you're making 150 grand a year. So
it's a great plan. I was just thinking if it's not going to burn you out, which I guess it wouldn't since it's the same equivalent as the full-time job. Then...
You know what burns you out? Doing 2 hours of work and then looking busy for 6 hours a day. That's what burns you out.
That is a little exhausting, yeah.
Because it's like your parents say, go to your room. Well, you're going to your room for 6 hours a day, every day. I mean, that would like fuck with your head.
It's true.
Like back in the olden days, I could tell this. When I worked at the credit union, I had the greatest dental health. You know why?
Why?
Because I'd floss and brush my teeth like after every little snack because there was something to do. I had a very small bladder. Because I'd be so bored. I'm like, I guess I got to go pee a little bit. I mean, there's a little in there. All right, I'll go to the bathroom and pee. Yay, I get to wash my hands. Yay. This is so exciting. Honors graduate from the Carlson School of Management.
Would it shock you to learn that working for the federal government is exactly the same way?
Doesn't shock me at all. Does not shock me at all. And see, what government workers don't realize is that's worse. Having nothing to do. Because like I remember like working security or something where it was production based, putting in retaining walls or whatever. Like you'd work and all of a sudden it was the end of the day. And you're like, oh, we did a lot of stuff. Look at that. I mean, time flew. Mm-hmm. But there is no worse mental torture, mental prison than sitting there having to look busy because your boomer fuckwit boss doesn't know how to streamline operations and get the assembly line of work to you. And then my favorite was like, then there'd be a crisis. Like they wouldn't tell you anything or they wouldn't forecast. All of a sudden, oh my God, this just came up. We got to do it. I'm like, this just came up. It's been sitting there for 3 months. You just wait. I'm looking at the dates on the reports. This has been out there for 3 months. Why didn't you tell me about this before? We got to get it out by Monday. It's Friday. Can you come in on the weekends? No.
Was this in 2007, 2008?
This was sometime. This was in the before time.
Okay.
In the before time in a different place. Well, I don't have to worry because pretty much every bank that I worked for was either bankrupt, consumed by another bank, and or all my managers and supervisors were fired and replaced. So there's really no... Okay, scrolling. I think we're good on the super chats. We're all caught up.
There was one more that Fred had up there.
Of course, Fred doesn't listen.
Yeah. Should I get an MBA, dude, bro, or an MS in computer science? Don't get an MBA. Don't get an
MBA. Fred, why do you already got a great job? You don't need to get any more education.
That's it. You don't need an MBA for that, Fred.
Cool. We're done.
Yeah, I think we're caught up.
We're caught up. Yeah, that's about it on my end. It's an hour. Oh, it's 2 hours. That flew by.
Well, it's the last one. It's bittersweet.
It's not the last one. I don't know.
Of this channel.
No, it's the channel will go. Okay. This is what it's like. All right. I am not dying. I am merely moving 3 blocks over. Okay. It's like, I lived at 123 Main Street. Now I'm going to live at 213 Main Street. And you're all like, Cappy was such a great guy. We're going to miss him. It's just like,
I got attached to that EIN that you used to have as your accountant. I'm really going to miss that number.
I still have that number. That's where all my incomes ran through. It's not going anywhere.
I know. I'm trying to be funny.
This, when we move to the new place, and the landlord there's like, yeah, we'll take your EIN number. I'm like, thank you. And then so, yeah, and just so you know, I'm looking at Odyssey, DLive, Manosphere TV. There's other platforms. It may be all of them. I got to talk to Turd Flinging Monkey so I can get like an OBS thing that runs and simulcasts on all of them. This will not happen until at least September. Also, the Older Brother podcast, no, I'm sorry, the Clary podcast and Good Morning Corona Chan. Those will also start up more regularly in September, maybe even a little bit before, because I am catching up. There's really not that much stuff left to do. Want to say thank you for everybody being very patient with me past 3 months dealing with my house, but things will be going back to normal. And look, does anyone here really like YouTube? Like politically or otherwise? I mean, no one really likes YouTube because of all the fuckery.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys, you want to help, you want to support alternative platforms, the Older Brother podcast will be going there. Also, if you want, subscribe on Subscribestar. I'm there. And the Road Trip podcast, for those of you who are subscribers, that'll be more regularly as well. And then finally, I will be migrating. I will always have a Facebook account until they kick me off. I'll always have Facebook Messenger, but I'm not going to be posting that much to Facebook. I'll be going to Locals. And Locals is interesting because they allow for an hour live streaming, but it's an hour max. So that's another thing we're going to have to experiment. So if you want to join the alternative bandwagon and say, oh, where's the Older Brother podcast going to go? You can email me, of course, if you want. And I'll make an announcement here on YouTube. But follow me on locals.com. It's aaronclary.locals.com. Follow me there, and that's where I'm going to be trying to migrate most of my general posting and notification shit.
Is Locals like Patreon where you pay to see
No,
it?
I can set yes, it can be if you want it to be, but basically it's Facebook with live streaming capacities and also Patreon or Subscribestar-esque stuff you could put behind a paywall. Right now, I have no paywall. Also, do not donate money to me on locals.com until I give the go-ahead. I had several people do that. I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to be using this platform. I think I am going to be more permanently there now, but now I got to go set up a Stripe account.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fuck. Well,
no,
what is it bad?
No, it's not that bad.
Okay, but it's just and if gee, Cappy, I just want to donate money for super chats. Where can I go to my PayPal account? You can find me.
We have a couple more super chats.
Yeah, see, why couldn't you guys just save that for the pay? assholeconsulting.com/make-a-payment if you really want to give me the shekels. All right, do we have any more?
Just a couple more. Digital Nomad for $2 Canadian says, Cappy, you are a great guy and your hair looks great.
Thank you. My hair looks really odd. Look at that, huh?
Looks
Look at that.
Fantastic.
Looks like I was wearing a hat today.
Need that Alabama or Blackhawks hat. Bacon for $3.03 just to make you look one last time. Cheers, boys.
All right. Take us out. Not for the last time, just this address and platform.
For the toodles.